Hello there guys, welcome back. We're gonna continue now with the rest of the process. I just left this image here now for now. I might be able to load, actually gonna have to load up a few of them here so I can show you some stuff while I'm doing it. But what I want you to do is, let's start with the project as it is. So I just want to talk a little bit about insert brushes. So for now, just to demonstrate what it is, I'm gonna just go into the lightbox and I'm just gonna click here and I'm just gonna add just a simple I don't know, like it was polysphere project. So I'm just gonna open this up. I'm going to press F and frame it, but I'm gonna probably frame it back a little bit. So I'm gonna press Alt, drag, so I can move out. I'm gonna show the geometry, and this is what we have at the moment. This has 3 levels. We talk about levels later on when we get to that point. But for now, I'm just gonna get to the lowest, and just gonna delete the highest, so I have this. Now. Going back to this artist, Shane Olson, this artist has a very particular way of working, and I think it's pretty standardized now in the industry as well. But I think probably one of the first guys who started introducing this was him. So what I want to show you is what are the insert brushes. You can actually create your own insert brushes here. So you can here going to create, when you're creating your brush, and you can say create an insert mesh, which is an insert brush mesh. So what are insert brushes? So insert brushes, what they are, if you can create one brush that insert several types of geometry in a single go. So for example, ZBrush has its own insert brushes built in, but we're gonna use the one that we installed from Shane Olson. So I'm gonna go here and I'm just gonna, if you put one of the one that says IMM parts, IM basic, and if you press, for example, this one, IMM primitive, the one that says IMM, so those are insert mesh brushes. So if you click here, you can see you have a brush that has 14 different brushes inside. If you click here, you can see you got different. You can use this one for creating your project if you want, the one we're going to discuss. But I think the one from Chain also are quite nice because they just simplify for what you need. So what you do is you can click on any of these ones. So I can say I'm going to click on this, and this is the brush that I'm going to insert. So when I click here, I got symmetry on at the moment. So you can click here, you can see I insert the mesh. I can go here and create this one, and then I can insert this mesh. Okay, so I can let's do this, and then I can just do it there like that. Okay, I think I can go to this ones, and you see every time I create something, the other ones get grayed out, get masked out, and then everything else gets available. This is going to be available. And then if we click, for example, this here, you can see that this is the one that is available and the rest is grayed out. You can see everything gets grayed out, and only you can work on the last insert brush. So let me undo this. Okay, I'll delete the highs again because you cannot do it with insert meshes. So there are several. You see that ton. You got things like clothing. You got parts as well. You can see you can insert things like ears. You can do that. And you can see by doing that, you can see how the red ball gone grayed out, which means that it's been masked automatically, and you can only work on this. And you can just go in, for example, go here, insert a mouse. Okay, and you align to the view. It's a bit weird there, but you can insert a nose. Okay, you can do that and do that. So it's a bit okay, and you can pretty much create anything. In the past, I told students you can use the feet and the hand from here. You can use it as well for a study a little bit of anatomy. If you just click and drag here, you can see how many tools are available. You can insert eyes as well. So I don't know which one it is. I think it's the opposite. So I do undo this and then do that. Okay. You can just click and drag and rotate them, and you will get that. And I'm going to show you later on why this happens outside and not inside. I'm going to show you where can you fix that. How can you fix that? So I'm just going to undo this. Okay, and you can see that you have insert brushes already pre-built that comes with ZBrush, and you can create your own. You can see these ones here are the one we're going to be using. These are like the simplified version that is given by 3D Character Workshop website, which is the Shane Olson website, and it has several other brushes you can use as well. But I can tell you that these ones here, I mean, you go here, see like bolt and thing. You can just put bolt when you're doing something mechanical as well. And you can create your own. You can create one and then insert it to this and then append, and you can keep appending, and you can have as many as you want. You can save them and then reuse them later on. So that's how people share them. So they're very versatile, very powerful. But yeah, this is pretty much what it is, the insert brushes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reinitialize here, set brush, and then I'm just gonna go back to the original, and then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna start this project. Okay. So just remember that we have just the image here, and this has the samples, the samples as being on. I'm just going to disable it because I reinitialized. So I need to have this disabled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to create just a sphere. I'm going to drag it. Okay, go there. Okay, and this sphere has. Let me show the geometry. It's quite a low geometry. I'm going to show the material just to see it. Just put the gray one for now. So you got that, and here you can see that this menu is slightly different from the one before. And if I click here to do something, it gives me this error saying I have to turn this into a polymesh 3D because it's a primitive. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit the button, make polymesh 3D. So now you can see that it's there. You can see the menu changes, so I can divide and do things with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start this with just a single sphere, and we're going to build from there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the brush size of this. Okay, I'm going to reinitialize this with equip geometry, and this is found here in the initialize button. You can turn this into a cube, a sphere, or a grid. So this is already a sphere, so I'm going to hit this button, quick sphere, and it gives me this. This is just something for you to start with. It's just like going to Maya and creating a sphere. That's it, something to start with. So I'm gonna do this and just have it there. You can see it's very low res. I could increase the, I suppose, the resolution, but for that is now it's okay. Now, so how do we start with this? So the way we're gonna start this project is gonna start with the. Let me reuse this. I'm gonna start with the torso area. Okay. So obviously this is a stylized character, so we're gonna start with something quite generic, and then we're gonna build from there because we need to. It's gonna take some time to going back and forward, and probably after I did this and I show you the tools how to use them, then I'm gonna probably do the sculpt, but then I'm gonna record the screen, and then probably it's not gonna have any sound. It's gonna have just music in the background, and we're just gonna speed it up, and then if you need to stop it for some reason, and then have a look what I've done, then just do that, and then make sure that you make note of the time, and then you can actually come back to me and then say what do you do at this specific time. Then I can recreate in class or in the revision that I'm going to do with you personally. I can just have a look and then do that. Okay, now once we have the, let me see how far this recording is going. 1 second. So the recording is just 8 minutes, so it's fine for now. Maybe another 15. I'll do it to 15 minutes. So this here is just a simple geometry. So if if I click here, you can see I can automatically work on this. But I'm gonna press X, so I make sure that I have symmetry on. You can see X. You can see whatever we do here happens on the other side. Now, what I want to do is, this is too low res. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to introduce a concept called the dynamic subdivision. Okay, now if I divide something here, at the moment I don't know how much you can see this because I don't know, because of the screen. I think I have to hide this for now. I think I will be able to see it. There we go. So we only had 26 polygons. You can see this is very low res. Okay, now we're going to be working on low res here. So the brushes per se that we're going to be using are these ones. Okay, so in these brushes I already have some sort of some of them are quite low res, some of them are quite high res. I think this is this one that we just had, the quad sphere. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on this and on something that looks subdivided, so it looks smooth. Okay, so for those who know Maya a little bit, it's pretty much when you press number 3 on the viewport. If you go back now to Maya, if you want, now that you're starting, insert a box or a cube, and then press number 3 on the viewport, and you will see that everything gets subdivided on the viewport, so it looks smooth. And this is what we're going to do here. Now, there are 2 ways to subdivide geometry inside here, because we are already starting with the concept design. We are not going to be actually having proper geometry with it. So in order to have proper geometry with it, we just had to do this button subdivide, and you can see how it goes to 98, and then you're gonna keep going, and then until it reaches the millions of polygons that we talked before. So I'm gonna undo that, and then at the moment it's this. So, but if I subdivide once, it give me this, which is a little bit smoother, so I can manipulate it. The problem is I'm gonna be manipulating this sphere. It's gonna be starting with the chest, the torso, and I want to have a little bit more polygons to move. At the moment, this is not enough, or this is not enough. So what I do is I'm going to give it one touch here, subdivide, 98, and I'm going to hit this button, delete lower. So what I'm doing, I'm just doing the subdivision, because I can go here and then go back to the first subdivision, which is 26, and I can go higher to the second subdivision, which is 98. So I'm just going to delete the lowest, and I'm just going to stay with this. You can see that I don't have any more subdivisions. So this is only one division, as it is 98 polygons, and that's it. Now, if we want to be working and seeing roughly what this is going to be looking like once we smooth it, then, like I said, in Maya, you bring something and then you press number 3 and it looks smooth. But that not necessarily is going to be the final product. It's just a subdivision in the viewport that allows you to see how the model is going to look like once it's finalized or subdivided. So, but there is a way that you can preview this, and it's using something called dynamic subdivision. Okay, and it's pretty much after the second entry here, subdivision, you hit this button, dynamic. There's a shortcut for that, but I can't remember. So you hit this button here, look, and you can actually apply to it. If you apply to it, then you will commit to those, because still 98 polygons, dynamic, is still 98 polygon. If you hit this button, if you apply it, you can see that it turns into 1,500 polygons, but we don't want that. And it gives you, actually, 3 levels automatically, look. Okay, so, but we don't want that. So we just wanted to work on this, okay? And then we're just going to keep it dynamically. So this is not committing. This is only for viewport. This is for committing. Okay. So we're going to click this, and we're going to have something here that looks quite smooth. Okay. And then before I continue and start doing the actual aspect of this, I'm going to show you a little bit how this works. So now, if you want to start working, let's say that this is going to be the chest, so I'm just gonna probably shape it here quickly, and then we can start using all the tools that we already covered. So I can probably, before I do that, I can probably go into the move brush. Okay, I'm gonna increase the size of my brush. Okay, and I'm just gonna move this down here and make it look like it's a chest here from the side view. Okay, and then maybe here like that, something like this. Then I'm gonna reuse the brush size. Okay, I'm just doing something generic here, but I'm not following any guideline or any of the reference. I just want to show here what it looks like. So if you were doing a chest cavity or something like that. So I can press shift and I can just smooth it. It's too much. I'm gonna press shift and then increase the smoothing too much there. And then I'm just gonna do this. Okay, something like this, and I just can move. Okay, so if I want to, I think this is too much here. Just do that. Okay, at the moment, dynamic perspective, just put it like that. Okay, we're just playing around with stuff here, okay? And then let's do this, okay? So, if we want to start building from this, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start just looking at some reference there on my other screen, but I'm just gonna show you roughly here how to manipulate those brushes that are given to you. So I'm gonna go back to this one, which is the IMM 3D CW, which is Character Workshop, and then we're gonna start. We can use any of these ones, okay? And then just remember that every time I have this, you automatically, if I insert something, okay, it will give me, it will insert this and it will mask everything out. Now just remember that we are in subdivision mode, but for example, if I undo this, you see this is like what it looks like without the subdivision. And if by any chance I just divide this with actually geometry, and if I select this and I click here, it gives me an error. And it says you cannot insert meshes and because you have subdivision. These subdivisions are there. Okay, so you have to, let me undo that. And then press dynamic. It looks smooth, but we're just gonna put them at, there are no subdivision here. You can see there's no subdivision. This is only dynamically, it's only on the viewport. This is what we're gonna need for us to work. So I'm gonna start putting a little bit of a sphere, perhaps. I'm gonna select, I don't know, these ones. I'm just gonna insert it here to make the shoulders, okay? Look what happened when I do that. So when I do that, this goes grayed out, okay? And this one stays with color, which means, you can see there's a little bit of dullness here and a little bit of brightness here. I mean, this is masked out. And to prove it, you can just go into any brush, the move brush. Let's say I want to move this, say I can't because it's masked. If I want to move this, you can see if I click here, you see it doesn't touch this because it's being masked out. And this is a very nice convenient way for us to work, because every time we insert something, it will automatically be masked out, and then we can actually shape whatever we just inserted to make it look like what we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to move, and I'm just going to click here. I'm just going to move this guy there. Okay. Okay, just going to do this. Something like that. Okay. I'm just going to press shift to smooth this. I'm just trying to do a little bit of the chest there, of the builder. So I need to perhaps move this back. So now that this is masked out, I can actually go and use the move tool, like the one I told you before. So this one here is sort of taking consideration the gizmo based on the viewport. So you can click here in the corner and you can just move it. This is very convenient, and I can just rotate if I want to. You can see that. Maybe I can move it out a little bit if it's going in too much. Okay. I'm not doing anything particular at the moment. I'm just playing around with this. So the way that this is masked out is very convenient, because now we can just only work on this. So I can just go back to draw, and now I can use the move brush and then just keep working on this. Okay. So I can just, I don't know, this, something like that. Okay. I can just smooth it out a little bit. Okay, and then I can go back to the insert brush, and I can just go insert something else. I'm gonna go insert here this arm. You can see that everything gets masked out. Okay, that's probably quite big, so I'm just gonna do this like that. Okay, I can just go into move him in a little bit. I can rotate him. Okay, I can just rotate him there. Okay, and just move him here. Okay, move him back, come back to draw, and with the going back to move, and now you can start moving things around a little bit. Okay, and this takes practice, guys. I'm doing stuff here, but I'm just playing around with this. I'm not doing anything particular because I'm not following. Just want you to have a look at this. Okay, I can just go in this and then do that. Okay, make it thicker if I want to. The point is you need to keep it quite simple. Okay. Okay, so I'm just doing this for now. So if I want to go back to this, then it's going to be a problem because this is already masked out. But then we can use the stuff that we used before, which is with the commands that I shown you in the past class about masking. So so if I press Control and click here, I invert the mask. Okay. If I press Control Shift, I can click on this and I can only show this. I can press Control Shift and drag, invert the mask, Control Shift click here to get this. Okay. So before I do that, I'm gonna press Control, click and drag to clear the mask, Control Shift to click here just to keep that. Then I'm gonna press Control click to mask this out, Control Shift click to show everything else. You can see now that this is masked and the rest is not. And now we press Control click and we invert it, and now everything else is masked. And then I can manipulate this guy again. You see, now all this stuff that we told you about is gonna come in handy now. So I can just move this guy in here, you know, and then move it around there, just following a little bit of reference. Okay, too squarish at the moment. Okay, maybe move this guy a little bit forward like that. Okay. Okay. And again, if you're gonna go back to the way it was, let's say that nothing is masked, you wanna only isolate this, you can do that, okay? By showing, I'm gonna show you two methods. This one here, so I'm gonna go here. All I have to do is probably clear the mask, is the easiest one. Press Control Shift, click on this. This is the only one showing. If I press Control click, it will mask him. Control Shift click shows everything. Control click, invert the mask. Okay. Another thing as well to work on this, and this is something I introduced new as well, is that you have a way to mask these brushes individually here. So there is one section here called masking, auto masking. You see it's in the menu called brush, and it's normally a dock here, but you can just click it here and then just dock it if it's not there. And in that menu here, you have auto masking. And in auto masking, what you have to do is go here into the one that says mask by polygroup, put it to 100%. So, and what it does, every time you click on one polygroup, it will automatically only move that polygroup. You can see if I click here, it will only move this. If I click on the green, or here in the green there, it will only move. Even though I got the mouse on top of this here, it will not affect the other ones, okay? Only affect whatever I click first. It will recognize if I click something first, it will not touch it, okay? That is a bit more tricky to move, but it works as well. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna put back the way it was, and I'm just gonna go with the masking as I was doing it. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the insert brush, this one, and I'm just gonna insert this cylinder, and I'm just gonna insert it here on top, just to do the neck. The neck is a little bit too, perhaps make it a little bit bigger, like that. Okay. If I want to move it, I can just go into the move brush. I can just move it down like this. I can just rotate it in the viewport if I want to. Okay. And I think it's still a little bit too big actually. So I'm gonna go back to draw to going back to these brushes, select the cylinder, and then I'm gonna click here and then make it this big. Okay. And then again with move, I'm just gonna move it down to this, rotate it. I can actually using this as a reference. Okay, that's that. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to draw so I can continue inserting meshes, and I'm just gonna insert this one, which is quad sphere, that has a little bit here. So I'm just gonna insert this one. Okay, and then this one I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to move. Okay, just the move brush, only what it does, just move geometry, and then we're just gonna start moving stuff around here. Doesn't matter that it's not symmetrical. Well, if you want to keep it symmetrical, I think you have to go here into the viewport and insert. There's one way to make it symmetrical, but we're not going to care much about that because the geometry is going to be modified. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the face a little bit flatter on the side. So I'm just going to go into move. I'm just going to make it like this, like that. It is awful at the moment, but don't worry. Gonna do this. Okay. It is okay. Just something. Again, I'm just demonstrating. I'm not gonna do the actual. I'm not following this character. Just demonstrating how to use the brush. So, and you can see that if you invest enough time, you can make all this as elaborate as you want. So I'm just going to go back here and then go back in this one. I'm going to insert another brush here. Just going to put these two like that. Okay. And maybe not like that. Just going to make it like this. Okay, let me do that again. I'm going to investigate a little bit how to make it thinner. Okay, yeah, just click there and make it thinner like that. And just remember, these ones are a mask. I'm just going to go into rotate. And I'm just going to go into the press shift to move that. I'm just going to rotate in this way so I can make the clavicle and rotate it that way. I want to rotate it back, moving forward, moving in a little bit, and more there. It's very simple to use this brush. This gizmo. I normally like to use the other one, but I'm just going to use this one now because that's what it's going to be doing for a while. This is the new one, so it's going to probably the other one's going to be. Oops, not that one, so I'm just going to go here into move. And if you see the clavicle from the top view, you have reference, you can see that it goes a little bit in like this, and it has a little bit of a curvature like that. So that's the bone it connects there. We're just creating just the basic shapes there. Okay, very simple. Okay, This class is probably going to be about half an hour, so it's 25 minutes at the moment. So again, if I want to continue with this, I can just go and start building more and more and more until I have my character as I want it. So at the moment, obviously, we're doing this, okay? And if I want to do the back, then the back has a sort of triangle shape here, which is the muscles. I can just go in just to do something there. I'm just gonna probably do it with another quad sphere here. Okay, and I'm just gonna put a simple sphere there, gonna go back into move, and then I'm just gonna start increasing the brush and then just moving this guy in. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm just gonna probably smooth him a little bit. Then perhaps it's easier to just move him in a little bit. So, okay, gonna go into draw, put that in there, and then I'm just guessing stuff here. I'm not following any anatomy because I'm not doing the final or anything. Just show you the stuff you want to do, and then just smoothing. Just pretty much you can do the whole character just doing the with this sort of method. Okay, you think that this curvature is too much in the back, then you can fix it by doing what we just did before. We're just gonna go here, and then here we're just gonna go into. I'm gonna clear the mask. Press Control, click and drag to clear the mask. You see everything is now allowed to move. Now I'm gonna press because the thing is every single one of this group has a color, and that color allows you to use the Control Shift to masking to pick them up. Even though this color has similar, they're not exactly the same. They're just slightly different. But ZBrush would be clever enough to figure that out. So you press Control Shift, click here, and for some reason this guy gave me the same color as this, which is something that I just not expected. So that shouldn't happen. Should be a different color. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press. I'm gonna go here, and I'm just gonna go into Auto Group just to break that up. I'm gonna create Auto Group. You can see it gave me a color for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Shift, and I'm going to hide this. I'm going to group this visible, so it has a group color. I'm going to press Control Shift, click and drag. Okay. I'm going to press Control Shift, click here, click there. Okay. I'm going to press Control Shift, click and drag to invert it. This guy got a color. Okay. Which is something that I shouldn't have done. Let me undo this. I shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to press Control Shift, hide this. Control Shift, click everything. Control Shift, hide this too. Control Shift, oops. Control Shift, click and drag. I got these two hidden. Okay. So I'm gonna press Control Shift, click and drag. So I got these two. So I want to make them the same color. So group visible. So they are picked by the same color. I'm gonna press Control Shift, show everything. Control Shift, click here, hide them. Control Shift, hide them. Control Shift, click and drag. Now these two, Control visible. Now they share the same color. So now what I can do is I can press Control Shift, click here. Control click to mask them. Control Shift to bring everything up. Control click to invert, and you can see I can now move this guy in if I want to. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna show everything. Okay, let me show. Okay, that's it. So if I want to move this guy, then like I said, I'm just gonna press Control Shift, click and drag. Control click to mask. Control Shift to bring everything up. Control click to invert the mask. Okay. And if you don't remember any of this stuff, guys, just get used to that because you can still do the clearing, blurring, masking, inverse, all that stuff in here. So you see the only one that's allowed me to move is this one, so I can just increase the brush size and then just clear this curvature. It was too much there. Okay, a little bit more like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into here again. Control Shift, clear. Control click there. Control Shift, show everything. Control click, invert the mask. And then I can continue doing my stuff. So you can still going back and forward, but it's just gonna take a little bit of time because you see that's why take your time doing this, this stage because it's gonna save you time on the long run. So I'm just like I said, I would just guessing with things. I'm not following any materials at the moment, any anatomy correctly or anything like that. So okay, so let me continue with this. So now I can put another muscle here. That is the back trapezoid. So I'm just going to go here into insert this, and I'm going to create another sphere. I'm just going to insert it here, going back to move, and then I'm just going to move it there. Okay. Okay, let me move this around to make it a little more. Okay, I'm just gonna move this there. Okay. I'm gonna continue putting other muscles in here. Just gonna create another insert again. I'm just gonna insert another one, and I'm just gonna insert one here. Let's sphere there. Okay, and I'm just gonna go into move, and I'm just gonna start moving this around. The pectoral muscle, normally they're broken down into 3 pieces. They all connect at the same point, which is right under here, under the armpit. So you get one there, like that. Okay. I'm just gonna smooth this out. Okay. Well, maybe I had to redo this again. You can just go back and then do the process where I was just showing you. And then another one here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go back to move, and again just had to move stuff around. Maybe this one was a bit too extreme, the movement that I did. Yeah, maybe it's normally something like this, something like that, I guess. You can see that's where the muscle ends there. And so this is too big, this trapezoid there, so you can just okay, just gonna smooth this out here. Okay, so let me then add this stuff looks horrible at the moment, but that's because we're just creating basic shape, and I'm not following proportions or anything like that. I'm just doing stuff in here just so you can show you. Again, here I'm gonna insert a cylinder, and I'm just gonna go at the bottom there. Okay, obviously at the moment that's all twisted. I can just go into rotate, and just rotate to the back there, and I'm gonna move it, and I'm just gonna move it there. Okay. If you want a little bit more subdivision, at the moment we don't have enough subdivision. We only go a single line. Then you can probably do it with one of these cylinders as well, or we can do it with the let me undo it actually. I don't want to do it with this. I want to do it with, we'll do it with this sphere. So I'm just gonna do this here, invert the sphere, and then again I'm just gonna go back into move or rotate, and then just move this guy in. Okay, let me rotate it. I think it's easier to rotate. And then just move it there, and I can scale him down here. And then what I can do is I can just move it down by going back to draw, and then going to move, and then just moving this part here like this. Okay. So how much we got now? We got half an hour on there. You see, this stuff can take some time. So I'm just gonna show you this. I'm gonna end this now, and then I think I'm gonna show you how to say this, and then I think we're gonna be done for this week, I think. And then next week I'm gonna record my actual doing this character, doing this process, and I'm gonna speed sculpt. I'm just gonna record the actual doing it, and then I'm gonna probably speed it up and then upload it. And then when you see it, you just have a look, and then if you get something catch your eye of what I'm doing and you don't know how to do it, you just tell me, and I will be more than happy to share that information with you. You can see I got this part here, and then this is with the hip stars, and you got the muscle that goes in here. For example, before we continue, we need to break out that muscle. We're gonna break out with another sphere, and it breaks out around here, and then going back to move. And I think we all have seen this in many paintings, which is that muscle that breaks down here, which is with the hip stars. You can see there. Okay. and then from here you can just insert another sphere, right here. That will be like the base, and then go scale, then we can just move this stuff around there. Okay, go back to draw, come back to move. We move the thing a little bit like this, it will be like the start. Okay, then move this in there, and then if we want to, I don't know, insert the gluteus muscles, then we can just insert another sphere. That will be on the side too, probably around here. Okay, and the gluteus are normally not round, they just go some shape. So I'm just going to go back into move, and then just going to move them, and they got this sort of shape like this. You know, obviously at the moment they don't look like that. Just going to have to move them in a little bit. Okay, but you see they start looking sort of too much, but if I'm going to go here into draw, and I can just probably smooth them out a little bit, and then just probably move them out in a little bit of gravity in there. Okay, something like that. Okay, and that's it for now, guys. I think I'm gonna stop this here, and then I'm gonna start actually doing this sculpt, and then I'll see you. I'll put it the recording and upload it, and then we discuss it the week after. Because what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna probably save this, and saving is just a normal process. You just have to go into here and then just save as, and then you just save it as a ZTL, save it, and then when you open ZBrush, you just go here and load tool, and that's it. You start working on, continue working. What to do is go and select the brushes, put this back to polyframe, and then continue working. Okay, but I think I'm gonna start doing the sculpt for this. I'm gonna start building this, and I see how I'm gonna build these basic shapes and how we're gonna take it from there. Because the character is stylized, but it's gonna be based as well on Olivia anatomy. So I'm gonna stop this now, and that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much, and then the next will be the actual sculpt, the speed sculpt for this process. So thank you. All right, thank you. Bye bye.